Hello, my name is John Sveck. Welcome to this All 24 video. Today, Coach Waterman and I have a special guest, Coach Sheldon Gray. He is the defensive coordinator of the Regina Rams. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an honor. Appreciate you guys down out east. Welcome to one of the West boys out there.
Absolutely, anytime. Coach is going to talk us through a play, so I'm going to give you the floor here, Coach.
For sure. This is one of our, I guess I should preface this by saying we're a base three front team. So we run our three down linemen and four kind of linebackers, two true kind of inside pluggers, and then two kind of hybrids. We see a lot of pass in RPO, so we like to keep as many athletes on the field as possible. So when we're running our base three, we like to have an ability to send four. So when we do that, we can do that in a number of ways. The one we're going to go through today is we call it just our loop and our twist package. So this is just a simple game between the defensive end, so this guy here, the rush, and we call our inside linebacker to the field our Zach linebacker. I know it's got lots of names. Some people call him the Buck, the Bob, the Mike. We just call him Zach. So when we talk about a weak Zach loop, first of all, we always tell our D-line what to do. We never want those guys thinking too much. We know they have a very hard job and they got action right away. So last thing we want them to do is think. So we're going to tell our D-line that they're all going to be going to the weak side. So we line that by the field. So in this case, we call this strong left. So all our D-line will be going to the right, the weak side. So when we say Zach, that indicates that the Zach is going to be involved in the blitz. And the loop is telling who's going first, essentially. So when we say loop, we mean the outside guy is going first. So the rush is the outside player in this alignment, and the Zach is the inside player. So in this blitz or this this loop that we call, the rush is going to go first. So the outside player goes first, and what we want him to do is attack the hip of that guard, all right, and ideally gets that tackle to come down with him. After he does that, he wants to get again. Those three guys want to get vertical, and they want to be a vertical displacement players in our three front. We want them to get up. So once that happens, the rush kind of gets that penetration. He's going to be the first penetrator. The Zach is going to try to scrape paint on him, and he's going to be the second guy. He's going to be the second penetrator here, and he's going to scrape paint and try to get to that C gap. So in the end, if everything kind of works out perfect, the rush would be responsible for the B gap, and the Zach would be responsible for the C gap if we're doing a straight gap cancellation. So that's our loop. Again, we can do that on the other side of the field. All right, now strong. So our D-line's now going strong. Mac is our blitzer. Loop means the outside is going forward. So we call our weak defensive end just end. So the end is going to get that penetration. He's going to try to essentially get that double. If he doesn't, if this guy doesn't go with him or they pass that off, then the Mac should come relatively free. So the outside goes first, inside goes second, and we get that penetration from that. Then if we go the opposite way, we call this twist. Again, we're going to tell the D-line what to do. Weak Zach twist. So when we have this now, what we're looking at is the rush is going to go second. The inside guy, we call it twist because there's an I in there, and that's the inside guy that's going first. So now the Zach is going to get the penetration. He's going to attack through the inside hip of that tackle, right, and extend out to C if need be. And the rush is going to take a step upfield, and then he's going to come underneath of that penetration. He's going to be the scraper. So inside first, outside second, that's where it's prefaced with the twist. Again, we're telling our defensive line they're going weak, the Zach and the blitz. Now, one very important thing, because we do run this quite a bit on first down, one major point of emphasis that we want to make on this particular blitz is if that rush gets a down block, right? So if that rush gets a down block from the tackle, so we got zone in this direction, he gets a down block, he is going to stay stuck in there, Zach, he's going to be in there. He's just going to stay in that B gap. He's the first penetrator. He's going to stay in that B gap. So he gets a down block. And then what happens is the rush, instead of trying to squeeze through that and coming all the way across here, he's going to simply play that C gap. So it's just an exchange of responsibilities. We don't want that Zach to try to fight through a down block and then try to get out the C. Quite often when we do that, we see RPO. So all we're going to do is have our Zach sit in there, stick in the B gap, stay in the B gap, try to hold ground in that B gap, and the rush is going to get out of the twist, and he's just going to play that C gap, and then he'll be our where we run as a 50-50 kind of mesh defense on that. So he's not going to crash. He's not going to try to surf it. He's going to go 50-50 to the mesh. That's how we defend that. So it's kind of noted on the bottom here. Same thing if on the Mac twist, if we get that down block by the tackle, the Mac is just going to sit in the blitz. So in this strong, defensive line's going strong, Mac is indicated in the blitz, the twist, the inside's going first. He's going to try to explode through, okay? And if this is a second down or running this on a four-man pressure and in pass, like we want to run some too high shell in the back, we want only a four-man pressure. We want to attack through, all right, get up, try to get this tackle to kick with us, all right, try to get upfield now and under so that we can kind of get that guard in space. Ideally, for us, we want those offensive linemen in as much space as possible. That's where we feel we have a better advantage with an end on a guard, one-on-one in space, because this nose should occupy that center. Going this way, our rush is going to be an outside pass rush guy, so he should be all right. We try to occupy these three with those two. Ideally, again, there's a lot of talk about protection. Ideally, this is the slide side, and then we can have a back on it. But we're still kind of getting up and under and trying to occupy and try to get this tackle on an island and then have the guard in space.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Just maybe on the technique of the first, the guy that's the penetrator. Is he sort of the guy that's going first? Is he a rip guy? Do you teach it that way, or does he stay square and get up? How do you teach him to get through there?
Right. So big part of it is down in distance, right? So if we're in Can West right now, if we're second and four, we're about 80% pass. So we know that if there's a pass, we're probably going to get a high kick by that tackle. So this guy wants to just simply just get, and we want him to rip upfield, right? So he'll do a right arm rip on this tackle's shoulder, all right? And if we get that block by the guard, which we might because they're going to kick, right? Then what we want to do is play with the rip on the left shoulder, with our left shoulder on that guard. So whoever it is, we want to rip and get upfield pretty fast because we want those guys to kick for that end to come back underneath. If this is a first down and 10 situation or a running situation, we want to just get in and we want to get two hands on that tackle. We want to just get him upfield, right? We want to be the penetrator. We want to get a good run fit on that tackle, get him off balance, try to get him a little bit wider than he wants to be on a run. If they're stretching weak this way or zoning weak, we want to get him off balance, and then we want to get big in the gap, and then we have that end come right underneath of us. And that's if it's a zone weak. If it's zone strong and that Mac is there, and now we're going to be that down block. Now we're just going to sit in it, all right, because we're that B gap defender, and now the end is going to be the 50-50 mesh player.
And coach, for some of the younger coaches, maybe possibly you can talk about even a concept like your loop and your twist, how you break that down, in terms of teaching that versus, run to, run away. Do you talk like that? Do you do drills for that?
Yeah, for sure. We'll run this twist out of any scenario. We'll run it out of, say, 1st and 10. We get down. Right now we sit and we go around the down block instead of try to go through it. If we see that down block, we'll go 2-2, where now this guy's shooting and getting vertical right away, right? So if this guy, if they're blocking this way and he wants to get off the hip and get vertical right away, and then this guy will kind of try to work around and try to set an edge. So we'll have that guy work that outside shoulder of that tackle and work on the line of scrimmage or on heels to kind of set that edge. So we'll work each one of those individually in reps, and then we'll mix them together. So we'll say, okay, so we'll just be in the back. We'll have the two guys, a guard and a tackle, will say, okay, zone this way, zone that way, and they'll run the twist. We'll say, okay, now kick exchange, right? Zone away with the back, right? So we can have all those different scenarios. And so we're prepared for pretty much any kind of block they do. What happens if they pull away? Well, this guy kicks out, this guy here, this guy pulls away. Well, now we're a chase team. So if this guy pulls away and we're going to try to get this down block, we want to get over top that down block, right? And we want to chase that pull. So we'll work that too, where we get pulled away from the twist. So we got quite a bit of work to do just on that one single system.
But that's good though. You get that muscle memory when you work those drills, right, Coach?
Right, exactly. And like we do this, like we can call it. We also do this out of sets, right? So if we have a check, a set check or a check blitz, or if we get gun strong, we'll actually call this blitz to the back, right? So if it's gun strong, now we'll say, okay, it's going to be a strong side. We'll just call loop, right? And then as soon as the back goes strong, we'll run a loop. We'll know it's to the strong side. And there's a lot of stuff we can do this. We step out of into our forefront, right? And we just call a loop. So instead of having a different terminology for our forefront where a rush and our tackle do a stunt, now we just call it loop and everybody's happy.